Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you the coolest trading bot I've built so far. This is not just another bot with a few indicators and a couple of alerts. It is a full workflow built around Hermes, running on Codex, with two big advantages. It can control my TradingView desktop app, and it can think with context from my Obsidian-like brain. That brain acts as the bot's long-term memory and knowledge base. I use it to store trade plans, market context, session notes, and raw trade ideas. Over time, it becomes a living playbook, not just a pile of random notes, so the agent can reference what worked, what failed, and which conditions matter most before building a new plan. Before we dive in, please like and subscribe. If you drop a comment about what you liked, what you want to see next, or what you want me to break down in more detail, I'd really appreciate it. Alright, let's get into it. I tried Obsidian first, but it didn't give me exactly what I wanted for trading workflow automation. So I built my own brain around my process. At the core, this is a local Python app running locally with a SQLite database behind it. My Markdown knowledge lives in topic folders like price action, trading mindset, and trading plans. The app indexes those notes, chunks the content, builds embeddings with Alama, and stores everything in a searchable structure. The architecture is split into a few clear layers. First is ingestion and indexing. A file watcher listens for Markdown changes, then triggers incremental re-indexing so the brain stays up to date automatically. Second is storage. The database tracks notes, text chunks, and note-to-note links. It also keeps full-text search plus vector search data, so retrieval is not just keyword matching. Third is retrieval. When Hermes needs information, the brain runs a hybrid search pipeline that blends vector similarity and BM25 text ranking, then fuses the results into a cleaner, more relevant shortlist. Fourth is visualization and control. There's a 3D graph viewer that maps note relationships in real time, plus note panels, backlinks, and live pulses when retrieval happens. So I can actually see what the agent is pulling from, not just trust a black box. The result is a custom knowledge system designed for trading decisions, not generic note-taking. It gives Hermes structure, memory, and context I can tune over time as the agent learns to take trades I would take. That's the foundation that powers the rest of this bot. I originally used DeepSeek R1 because they slashed prices, and it was extremely cheap to run. But it doesn't support images, which I consider a critical feature for this trading bot, so I switched to Codex. A big part of that decision is also that Claude Code has become increasingly difficult to work with. In the beginning, Claude would just work through tasks on its own. Now, even in live dangerously mode, I constantly have to tell it, okay, do what you already know needs to be done. I think that alone is part of why usage limits are getting hit faster than before. There was also a leak a while back that exposed Claude Code source files. Part of me wants to use that as a starting point to build my own IDE version that fixes every problem I have with it, but that's a project for another day. If you're interested in seeing more of what's possible when you really put your mind to it, drop a like and subscribe. This channel has been around for way too long to still be this small. Now let's talk about the Hermes side of this project and what has changed. At a high level, Hermes is the agent layer that ties everything together. It is the part that runs the workflow, calls tools, reads context, and turns all of that into an actual trade analysis process instead of just disconnected scripts. The biggest upgrade for me is that Hermes is no longer just a chatbot with commands. It runs like an operator. It can handle scheduled scans, use structured prompts, pull context from my second brain, and return a decision format I can actually act on. On top of that, Hermes keeps the workflow persistent. Skills, memory, and repeatable task structure let it improve over time instead of restarting from zero every session. That is a big difference between a one-off AI prompt and an actual trading system. It also runs on a schedule that matches how I trade. Before my trading day starts, it performs a full top-down analysis, so I begin with a clear higher time frame plan and directional context. Then, at the top of every hour, It posts updates focused on either trade execution conditions or plan adjustments based on what the market is doing. At the end of the day, while the futures market is closed, it runs another top-down pass to recap the session, log what changed, and set up cleaner context for the next day. In practical terms, the agent's role here is simple. It gathers chart context, combines it with my stored trade framework, applies rules, and outputs a structured recommendation. As you can see, with anything that isn't your own, there are going to be small bugs, like a new message interrupting tasks in Hermes. Nothing is perfect, I guess. I also want to add that context window usage has shown me Codex is far more efficient than Claude Code. That ties directly into the reliability issue. As Claude Code has become more interrupt-driven and less self-directed, I've had to spend more prompts repeating instructions and double-checking work that should already be handled. That extra back-and-forth burns context faster and makes usage limits hit sooner. Because of that, a full switch may be coming soon. But until then, I still use Claude as my daily driver. It's already set up the way I like. It gives me ADHD-friendly text formatting, commonly called bionic reading, where the first few letters of words are bolded to make speed reading easier. It also gives me TTS summaries of the agent's responses directly in Claude. I'm sure all of that is possible with Hermes too, I just haven't set it up yet.
Done. Hard reload and click a node. Its title prints in big glowing text in the open space below the brain, and clears when you close/deselect. It also fires on retrieval pulses, so when the LLM pulls a note you'll see which one by name.
That's going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to let this run for the next week and tune it along the way. It's going to be running 23 hours a day to make every tradable hour in the futures market tradable. Once things are running smoothly, I'm going to open it up to more symbols and fine-tune strategies for scalping repeatable setups. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Peace out. If you've watched this long with the terrible TTS, that definitely deserves a comment, because this video hardly showed much at all.